that the office isn't open today, so the press can't check the records to see how much. But I won the Marbles Championship right out there, and that. So that right there, room number 12 was my fourth grade class. You did, good. Don't tell any secrets. Well, I was the champion. And then right outside on the other side was my fifth grade class, and right in here we did all of our assemblies. And I think they still do that properly. In fact, I remember being in this very room the day the hostages came home from Iran. Remember the whole time? We had a really good president that day, by the way. It was Ronald Reagan. In fact, I have more family in Las Vegas than I do in Miami. Now, they have more kids, too, so that's good. But anyway, that's, we're doing our part. We had four. My wife was every day somewhere. She's never been. There she is. That's you. See, I told her I went to elementary school. She had it out. But anyway. So I'm honored to be here today on behalf of Good Romney, but also on behalf of all those wonderful candidates that are running up and down the ballot. And I want to make a point of that right now, because one of the reasons we have these events is to encourage people to get involved and engaged. And I know it's warm, so I don't want to take a lot of time. Just enough to tell you what's at stake. Because this election is important. It matters. And I want to tell you why it matters, and I hope to encourage you to get involved in it. I think it begins by understanding who we are and why we're different. Now, for much of human history, I mean for like 18th century, even longer, almost everyone on earth was poor. Not just a little poor, a lot poor. Every country, every society in the world was basically a handful of really rich people and everybody else that worked for them if they could get it. People starved, people were hungry, people suffered. It was truly the era of the haves and have-nots. That's what the world was like for almost all of its history. That began to change about 2 centuries ago. And the reason why it began to change is because of this place called America. Founded on a powerful principle. And here was the principle it was founded on. That every single human being on the earth, didn't matter who you were, who your parents were, where you were born, what you did or didn't do for a living, every person had certain rights given to them, not by your government, but from God. And the key among those rights was the right to life, to liberty, and to the pursuit of that happiness. What is happiness? That's what they were asking. What is happiness in people's lives? Happiness is the ability to do what you want for a living. It's the opportunity to raise your children. It's the opportunity to have enough money to buy the things you like. Now, our political rights get all the press. The right to say whatever you want, the right to express your opinions, the right to go to any church you want to go to. But our economic liberties are just as important. And our economic liberties are real because it said that you should have the freedom to pursue happiness. Economic happiness largely is the ability to earn your accomplishments. To earn by opening up a business. So you can feel... Keep clapping and drink some water. This is always the point where you're here to heckle me today. If you could wait another 5 minutes, because that gives me a moment to get my water. So, the opportunity to own and build a business. The opportunity to go work somewhere and to get paid to do something you love for a living. That's economic happiness. And the happiness that I know well, because it was the story of so many in my family. And that's the opportunity to work somewhere that pays you enough money so you can provide a living for your family and a better future for your children. Why is that possible? And what kind of system are those things possible? Well, it's possible in a system where the economy isn't run by government. And yet it's worked, and this idea has worked so well for 200 years. The result is the freest and most prosperous nation that the earth has ever known. And yet, despite its success, despite this extraordinary success of free enterprise, there have always been voices in America
Obama.
Yeah, they don't work
Probably for the first time in my lifetime, it also happens to be the President of the United States, who not only does not believe in the free enterprise system, but he doesn't understand it. He doesn't believe in the free enterprise system. He thinks the free enterprise system means that the only way you can get rich is by making someone else poor. He believes that the only way that you can succeed is by making other people less successful. He believes that if you are successful at building a business, it isn't because you were successful, it's because you got lucky, and you owe it to the government and everybody else, so you need to share your success. He doesn't believe in the free enterprise system, and quite frankly, he doesn't understand it. And that's why this election is more than just a campaign between two men. It is a choice between two very different visions of the world. Two very different views of what the role of government should be in our lives and in our country. That's what this election is about. Mitt Romney believes in the free enterprise system because he has seen it. And it's not just Mitt Romney, it's Dean Heller, it's all of our candidates. Tarkanian is running for Congress. He believes that. His opponent does not. Dean Heller believes that. His opponents do not. Colonel Heck believes that. His opponent does not. Even in local office, I bet you you'll find people that believe in the free enterprise system. It's more than just believing it. They know how it works. They know how it functions. They understand how prosperity is truly created. And it's pretty straightforward. Here's how prosperity is created. Someone makes some money. They use that money to start a new business or to grow that new business. As a result, they make some more money for themselves, or they hire people to work for them who now make money. These people in turn around and take the money they've made and they spend it, thereby helping other people start businesses and provide for their families. And the cycle goes on and on. That's how prosperity works. What's the role of government and all that? Government has a role to play. It does have a role to play. I'll tell you what its role is. Number one, its role is to write rules. Rules of the conduct. What's legal, what's not legal. So that everyone that's getting involved in economic competition understands what the rules of the game are. Government's job is to provide for infrastructure. That means the roads or our national security, and at the state level it means education. It means, by the way, to provide for the national security I just outlined that a second ago. You can't grow economically if you're being invaded. You can't grow economically if your enemies are attacking you. That's the role of government. That's the proper role of government. Every time it does anything beyond that, and provide for a safety net. Not as a way of life, but as a way of helping those who cannot help themselves, and as a way of helping those who are trying, but have fallen so they can get back on their feet and try again. What happens when people decide we want government to do more than that? Even if it's well-intentioned, here's what happens. The rules become unpredictable. In fact, they get crazy. Government starts changing the rules depending on whatever they think is the right thing. It becomes rule of men, not rule of law. People get scared to invest in countries like that. They get scared to start a business or grow a business in a country they have no idea what the rules are going to be tomorrow. And by the way, no one asks them what the rules should be either. Those kinds of governments are also expensive. That means the taxes have to go up. Let me tell you the problem with that. Of course you have to have taxes. It can't be zero. You have to be able to pay for the things you said government does. But what happens when taxes get too high? Here's what happens. The first thing that happens is that people think we may not be able to keep that much money, so maybe we just won't open that business. Maybe we just won't grow it. Here's what's worse. Government gets its money from